Welcome back to the eSports Report. We are live in New York City. It is a beautiful Friday, and we are inside talking about Optic Nation, and couldn't have it any other way. I'm a big fan of this squad. It is a team that a lot of people are thinking could potentially break in and steal next game's gold medal. They come in with the 4th seed overall, but where do you think they stack up against the other 8 squads?
Well, it's tough to say. You know, when this team formed, they formed after the playing tournament already happened for the Season 2 league.
Right.
So because of that, they weren't able to participate in the league, which takes away a lot of their practice potential, especially in those respawn game types. We've all seen them on their streams playing a whole lot of Search and Destroy tournaments, so we know that they're going to be fine in that game mode. But what about the other two?
So you're a little worried about the respawn game modes?
Yeah, a little worried. You know, people had the same questions about them going into UGC Niagara as well, but they performed pretty well there.
Yeah, I'll say. Well, we'll get to a few of the games from UGC Niagara a little bit later, but first, let's take a look at our roster, starting off with Killa. I want to go with the world champions here first. We got Killa and Miracles on the roster when they won the Black Ops 2 title. What do you know about this guy?
Well, Killa's been playing for a little bit now. You know, a couple of years he got 3rd place at Call of Duty XP, so he's won a lot of money. I believe he recently passed up Big Timer as well on the all-time list. But this guy, he's one of the most aggressive players in the game. I remember watching him in Black Ops 2, always the first into the hard point, always the first into the action, and that's just the way he likes to play. He feels comfortable in those positions, and more often than not, he usually wins those gunfights.
And you can see he's been playing competitively, attending his first tournament in 2010 at MLG Orlando in Black Ops. So it says his role is support. Is he purely a objective support player? Does he ever take on the slaying role? What do you think this guy does in-game?
You know, I feel like he's more of an objective support player. He has the potential to be on top in terms of the kills, but usually don't see him, you know, doing that kind of stuff. Maybe if hardpoint, he'd have a lot of defense, he'd have a lot of captures, but all the kills he gets are very important kills. Those are kills that win his team the game because he's getting them while he's doing the objective.
Now, on our previous teams, I've seen Killa kind of as that vocal leader, especially when it comes to Search and Destroy. Is he still the play caller on this Optic Nation squad?
Personally, I wouldn't have him play call for Search and Destroy when you have Embos and Ricky as well on the team. You know, that's what those guys are known for. I would definitely have Killa play call in the respawns, you know, have him call rotations, have him call where to be on the map. But for Search and Destroy, I'd leave that to probably Ricky or maybe Embos.
All right, let the two guys, also S&D veterans, fill in there. Now, up next, we got to talk about Killa's counterpart. We have Miracles here. And Miracles, still very young competitive player, just 20 years old, from Las Vegas. Now, he's also listed as a support player. Is he doing the objective on this squad? What's Miracles' role overall?
Now, he's more of a support slayer. This is the guy that could put up some big numbers. So when Killa pushes into the objective first and kind of baits himself, Miracles is the guy that's right behind him, cleaning up all of the kills. You know, this guy has a fantastic shot. I remember watching him during some Black Ops 2 pro scrims where he would constantly drop 40 bomb after 40 bomb after 40 bomb. He has such potential in the slaying department, but we haven't really seen a whole lot of great games from him in Call of Duty Ghosts.
And he's kind of been that guy who is fearless with the SMG, but also, especially in Black Ops 2, I always felt like he knew the game better than his opponents, and there was a lot of situations where I'd expect a normal player to just rush in and get into a battle. Miracles would actually let that player run right by him, shoot him in the back. So he's a very cerebral player, very intelligent player who positioned himself incredibly well. If you have any knocks on Miracles, what are the weaknesses in his game?
I feel like he's kind of in the same boat with Killa where they get flustered, you know, after a couple of losses. They tend to argue a lot, but Miracles, he stays level-headed a bit more than Killa does, and that's what I really like about him. He has a great attitude, you know, inside, outside of the game, but let's take a look at some of his stats and see how he performed.
Yeah, U.S. Regionals below a 1.0 KD, of course, losing to Curse New York and Rise Nation, but he had 4 blitz caps per game, 3.25 domination caps, and as a slayer, like you said, he throws up those kills. 22 kills in both COD Season 1 as well as the U.S. Regionals LAN. His Search and Destroy has been up and down, but at the U.S. Regionals, that was the one area he was kind of struggling, below a 0.7 KD.
Yeah, but you could definitely see as time went on, he learned more about the game, he practiced more, and, you know, his stats got better. In Blitz, he doesn't play as much of the objective anymore, and Dom, he hops on a couple more flags, but he's also getting more kills.
And one big thing to note there is at UGC Niagara, you can see the difference in the objective. Now playing with Embo's on the squad instead of Parasite. Miracles didn't have to do as much of the blitz capping. It was more of a team effort, and he was able to continue in that slaying category. Up next, let's talk about Ricky, kind of the backbone of this squad. I call him Ricky Remington because whenever I watch this player, he is using that assault rifle, and he is so deadly at any distance.
Well, I think Ricky's left thumbstick is broken because I don't ever see this guy sprint, but he does bring a pretty nasty submachine gun game to the table. But for the most part, he's going to be that positional assault rifle player for this team, holding down the power positions, just playing very passive. He's going to see where everybody's pushing on the map, and if there are any gaps, he could call that to his team and let them fill it in.
He's basically the equivalent of Swanee from the EU when I watch him. He is just that guy who will post up. You cannot get him off a head glitch, and he can just lock down entire portions of the map. Most importantly here, though, is you can see that effect in his KD. Having a 1.16 when playing at the U.S. Regionals, also doing a lot of the dom cappings. He's the guy trusted to get the home flag, but he can fill in the blitz area as well. With that SMG, as you said, he's able to continue to slay with the 23 KD at U.S. Regionals, 20 kills per game, and respawn game modes in COD League Season 1. But at Niagara, look at those domination caps, 5.82. This guy was a capping machine.
Yeah, also look at his search and destroy kill death ratio, 1.27. That's why you pick Ricky up for the team. He could take over a search and destroy game, especially when he's playing with one of his longtime teammates in Embos. They're a nasty duo in that game mode.
Well, we said this is the strongest S&D team so far. We've seen all three players with positive KDs when it comes to search and destroy. Let's look at the fourth player. We have the captain, Embos. He finishes third, takes home a huge chunk of money at the Call of Duty Championships, winning $120,000 there. From there, though, he's dropped from Optic Gaming, or at least given the opportunity to start a brand new team. Proofy comes in to fill in on Optic Gaming, as Embos now the leader of Optic Nation. What can you tell me about this young guy, only 18 years old?
Well, Embos has actually changed up his role in Call of Duty Ghosts. At the beginning, he was more of an assault rifle player. He was more of like a main slayer for the team. At least that's what he was doing at UMG Philadelphia when I played against him when he was on Juked. But now he's running more submachine gun. He's being a lot more aggressive. And now that he's teamed up with Kill and Miracles, I feel like he can take a step back, slow down his game a little bit, maybe take that assault rifle out every now and then. But let's take a look at his stats. I mean, search and destroy is what you know Embos for, but those aren't the search numbers that we expect to see him put up.
Yeah, and I wonder, is that because he's taking the bomb more and just unable to get those cover kills, or what's going on with Embos' S&D game? You can see he's definitely kind of carrying his weight in the objectives from across all four of those tournaments. Pretty solid dom caps across the board and averaging over 2.5 blitz caps per game. But the overall KD, that's one thing I think we're going to have to keep an eye on coming into the X Games. Can he step it up and slay like we have seen him? He's just had explosive games on Optic Gaming, especially at the COD Championship.
And I feel like he will be able to step it up for his kill-death ratio. Because he was on Optic Gaming, he was kind of that sole objective player. Nadeshot decided to step back, take out an assault rifle, play a little bit slow. So Embos had to, do a lot of the objective work. And because of that, that's why you see some of the low numbers. And I like that you brought up that he does carry the bomb in search and destroy, because you have to play so differently when you have the bomb in your hands. You have to be so careful where you push around the map. So we're going to be looking at Embos at the X Games and see what he can do.
All right, so there's a look at all four players. Now let's talk about what happened in their most recent LAN tournament. Of course, we don't get to see them in the MLG COD League, at least until possibly Season 3. They're able to finish top 4 at Anaheim. But we do have an opportunity of seeing them at UMGs, where they're playing based on their pro points. They're in the championship bracket. They had a pretty high seed coming into this tournament. Tell me what happened in their very first round.
Well, their very first round, they go up against a team called Calevra Fuse, and they have some old-timers on their team. Modi, for instance, he was a very prominent player back in the day. So first game, it's going to be domination on Freight. UGC Niagara, let's see what happens.
And now he's got another guy coming out there. Now Miracles, he's the last one up.
Only one alive, yeah, and he's got one below him. He saw another one going across there, and we see also in front, he's going to have an engagement here, DC.
Do you see how crazy
my hip fire?
Do you see how good steady aim is?
That was wild. He turned, that was probably, like 15 yards, and just burned him alive.
Yeah, that was a first down and a half.
Thing of beauty.
Yeah.
But that was just 3 down there for Optic Nation. So as we look at the score here, they're already down 17 on this side combined. We're up into the 80s now. This is going to be really, really difficult. Ricky, though, picking up another 2-piece.
Yep, Ricky now going to be cleaned up as soon as I switch over to him. Killa 3 and 5, 2 caps. He's going to hop in the middle.
With the 3-piece.
Oh, he has to see this guy. Yep, and there's going to be another one. Will Killa get the 2-piece here? Oh, he barely missed.
If Storify got Killa there, he had a chance to just get the quad, wipe out everyone there. As Ricky picks, I think I've seen Ricky pick up a 2-piece.
Yeah, Ricky's doing everything he can. He's double positive and growing. So they need Ricky to actually pick up because, you know, Optic Nation obviously is going to be a team who's going to be very, very good at search and destroy, especially since Killa, since before champs, basically relied solely on playing search and destroy tournaments.
Ricky with another 2-piece, almost able to get a third. And we just saw 3 big kills coming up for Optic Nation, but you know, just looking at the score, there's really nothing that can be done at this point. But we will still keep an eye, see if we can get some kind of highlights here out of the guys. But looking across, I mean, this half at least, it wasn't quite as dominating of a performance by Fuse. So hopefully that's a sign that Optic Nation's getting it together a bit here as we get ready to hop into that second game.
We'll find out. I mean, they just look kind of all over the place. And Thing 2 is going to be taken out. Now here comes Trojan trying to get up into the mix. He has one guy to his left, make that 2. And he's going to spot him. He spots the Shadow. There's going to be 3 guys all swarming him right now. And oh my God, he almost was able to win that.
And Ricky, another 2-piece. Every time I look at a kill feed, it's Ricky. As he's out to 19 and 8. Let's just look at his squad right now. He's 19 and 8, then 6 and 8, 9, 11, 6 and 10. He's the only one really getting the kills right now.
And it's, you know, Ricky's definitely a lot better on the Xbox 360 than he is on the Xbox One. You know, I don't think he's really caught that rhythm on the One yet.
A lot of people have said, there's been a lot of top players that really haven't been able to transition to the One as well. Ricky, another 2-piece ceremony Thing 2. It's becoming kind of a trend. He has 21 on
I'm
this.
just going to leave it on Ricky. You want to keep talking about him?
Yeah, well, every time I look down, he's got 2 more kills.
Ricky spots another guy.
Oh, see, now we highlighted.
This is what happens.
For him.
Hey, this is why we can't have nice things, man.
I know. That's 100% my fault. But
how shocked are you about this, by the way?
Only not. The main reason I'm not incredibly shocked is just because what we said at the beginning of this. You know, Fuse has been playing. They've been playing all weekend. They've been grinding through this open bracket, and it's been pretty much the exact opposite here. They haven't played today at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, oh no.
Oh.
Well,
there's the start of bodies getting lit up with bullets.
That is a bold play, Cotton.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's going to light a fire under Optic Nation. They can, again, the positive here is that we've talked about how strong we expect the S&D game to be from Optic Nation. You got to think it will. Killer has put so much time into S&Ds. It's like every single time I get on Twitter, him or Fizz are really tweeting that they're in a something 2v48 S&D, 1 and done.
3v3, 5 and done.
Host and quad.
Yeah, 2,700 game battles credits.
Some sort of tournament.
All right, so that was a look at game number 1. Clever Fuse beating Optic Nation by over 60 points in that first half. Ricky turned it on in the second half, but overall, it was just kind of a blowout, and it came down to the lack of kills from Optic Nation. What's going wrong for these guys, or at least at Niagara?
I was actually just about to bring that up. If you're looking at the scoreboard, Ricky had over 20 kills, his teammates 11, 7, and below that. So the one thing we're going to need to see from Optic Nation, who is going to step up and pick up some kills? We said Miracles can do it. Killa could do it. Embos can do it. All 3 of these guys have the potential to become a main slayer for the team. But who do you think is going to be the one to step into the spotlight?
Do they need to assign that role in Respawn game modes? Do other teams do that, or is it just something natural? You're either going to have a good game as a team, or you're going to have a rough game.
You know, sometimes it's natural, but there are players such as Dito or Saints who could definitely guarantee you 25, 30 kills a game. So there's definitely some talent out there in terms of slaying. Personally, I would have Miracles do it. You know, I was talking a bit about him earlier. We've seen the kind of slaying he can do. So if Optic Nation just be like, Miracles, don't worry about the flags, don't worry about capping goals, just go out and kill people. I'd really like to see how Optic Nation do with that mindset.
Well, that was a Respawn game mode. Keep in mind, this was the very first round of a tournament. Clever Fuse, a very hot team coming out of the open bracket. Optic Nation, a little bit cold. Not too many warm-up games before this matchup. But coming into Game 5, you know they have 4 games under their belt. Search and Destroy is their strength. They're expected to win this one against Fuse.
No, not yet. So now, jumping on board here, we're going to start off with the attacking team. Historify, triple positive. Meanwhile, Modi is going to be carrying the bomb, so we're going to take a look at him and bring up the minimap and see what exactly they're going to be doing. And look at this. This is interesting. Are they all four going underneath? They are all going underneath the nest. I have never seen this once. And now here comes the audible, and they're going to run to A, and the members of Optic Nation are sitting there saying, I have no idea what to expect. And okay.
Little fake out with the plant, but he should be able to get this down. Oh, grenades coming in. He does get it down. That's going to be a relatively quick arm here for the members of Fuse. Miracles, Bows, both taken out. They're in a 4v2 with the plant down. This is going to be incredibly hard to stop.
Yep, Ricky is able to come around in the corner here. Now it's all up to Killa. All right, Adam Sloss, show him what you're made of. There's one. Oh my God,
wow.
Hit markers.
Yeah, hit markers there, and the stars would have had to align for that guy to basically jump into his exact shots to be able to take out both of those guys there. But just like that, one round away, and Fuse takes this game and the series.
Yep, this is for all the marbles, Maeve.
And Historify, 10-3.
All the marbles, at least 7. So now we are going to jump on board with the team whose back are against the wall. That is going to be Optic Nation. We are going to start off with Money B as he plans on starting off his attack here. And now looks like his job is going to be to watch the flank, which means we are going to go ahead and switch off of him. We've thrown one here. There's going to be 2 guys all the way on the opposite side, just kind of prone down here. Whoa. Notice how slow each player is moving. Every decision making matters.
Every decision is huge. You saw they're playing real flat.
Oh, he spotted him.
Just kind of waiting. And now you can see as the members of Fuse are going to start to pinch up.
Oh
here.
God, Historify came on a flank already.
Out. Oh God, he's at 11-3 right now. He's having a huge game. Killa goes down as well. On with Bows. It's Bows and Ricky versus all 4 members here of Fuse.
Oh, Bows just getting hit markers here. Meanwhile, Ricky is on the world's biggest flank. He is all the way over here at A. What's going to happen? He has a 1-on-4 in front of him. If he does this, oh my God.
He gets lit up by Thing 2 there. And unfortunately, not a fantastic start here out of Optic Nation as they are upset by Fuse in Game 5.
Yeah, well, regardless, big round of applause.
A bit surprising. We see Historify and Think 2 pumping and dumping all over Optic Nation there. What was happening? Because it seemed they were just kind of on the back foot in both offense and defense.
Yeah, Optic Nation, they were never really together. They were pretty far spread out along the map. I mean, you saw in that last round there, Killa died in Snake, and his teammate Ricky was all the way at green. So maybe just not enough teamwork there. But also, Embos and Ricky, they combined for a total of 4 kills that entire game.
4.
That's not what you expect from them in Search and Destroy.
This is a squad, World Championship squad. A teammate who goes 3rd at the COD Champs in the same game, Call of Duty Ghosts, switching from the Xbox One to 360, did not go well in the first round. However, there is a brighter side of this story. After falling to the losers bracket, Optic Nation made a run through everybody. They made it into the Final 4. They outplaced their sister team, Optic Gaming, and finally, their road was ended by the team that won the tournament, Complexity, who's now EG. But what went differently in that losers bracket? What do you think, Optic Nation? What changes did they make?
I think losing that first game just kind of humbled them and lit a fire under them. They really stepped it up. They were firing on all cylinders after that game. If only they were able to do it, a few maps earlier, then they could have stayed in the winners bracket and possibly made an even deeper run in the tournament. But, just that first game loss, they were just like, what are we doing, guys? And then after that, everything just started clicking.
We're going to commercial break. When we come back, we're talking about the strengths, the weaknesses of this squad. What's their best game mode? Who's their best player? Revan's got all the answers after this.